Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. I promised you this video, so we're gonna try to power through it. So in my debate with Conscientious Omnivore the other day, he stated that two doctors basically proved that veganism reverses heart disease. That's what he said. And one of these doctors was Dean Ornish. Now let's see what Dr. Dean Ornish has been able to do, according to Wikipedia. Controversy. Oh, what? Ornish is known for his lifestyle-driven approach to the control of coronary artery disease and other chronic diseases. He promotes lifestyle changes, including a quasi-whole foods plant-based diet, smoking cessation, moderate exercise, stress management techniques, including yoga and meditation, and psychological support. Ornish does not follow a strict vegetarian diet and recommends fish oil supplements. The program additionally allows for the occasional consumption of other animal products. Oh, well then, the whole assertion of veganism curing any sort of disease, at least as far as Dean Ornish is concerned, well, that just went out the window. Look, the reason why I generally don't want to discuss studies, or why you shouldn't in debates, is because most of the time people will lie to you. They will misrepresent these studies, and having debated Conscientious Omnivore before, having seen him do that once before, I just wasn't going to let him get away with it again. So he completely misrepresented Ornish, right? You could eat meat on his diet, and he promotes lifestyle changes. Quitting smoking, exercise, stress management, psychological support. Yeah, if you get a bunch of fat Americans to quit smoking, get off their ass and move, chances are their health markers will improve. Chances are they're going to get better. And they weren't eating a vegan diet anyway. Man, these vegans are just liars, man. Straight up and down. Liars. There's controversy when it comes to Dr. Ornish also. There's an article in Scientific American entitled "Why Almost Everything Dean Ornish Says About Nutrition is Wrong." Last month, an op-ed in the New York Times argued that high-protein and high-fat diets are to blame for America's ever-growing waistline and incidence of chronic disease. The author, Dean Ornish, founder of the nonprofit Preventive Medicine Research Institute, is no newcomer to these nutrition debates. For 37 years, he has been touting the benefits of a very low-fat, high-carbohydrate vegetarian diet, which is nonsense, for preventing and reversing heart disease. But the research he cites to back up his op-ed claims is tenuous at best. Nutrition is complex, but there is little evidence our country's worsening metabolic ills are the fault of protein or fat. If anything, our attempt to eat less fat in recent decades have made things worse. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this anymore, but you could check out this article. Dr. Dean Ornish, insofar as being some kind of vegan guru, curing cancer and heart disease, that was debunked with just reading his Wikipedia page, the first few sentences. Now, then there was also Dr. Esselstyn, I guess. Another one of those vegan doctors curing all kinds of disease, heart disease, with the vegan diet. There was an article by the skeptical cardiologist. Sorry, guys, I'm not well. And no, to all you vegans saying how carnivores have these raspy voices. I've been eating carbs, alright? If you must know. More incredibly bad science from Dr. Esselstyn's plant-based vegan diet study. A while back, the skeptical cardiologist exposed the incredibly bad science behind Dr. Esselstyn's plant-based diet. You could go read that article if you want. The diet has a catchy slogan, eat nothing with a face or a mother, and Esselstyn was featured in the vegan propaganda film Forks Over Knives. What a surprise. After detailing the lack of science, I concluded, I guess this is from the former article, any patients who were not intensely motivated to radically change their diet would have avoided this crazy study like the plague. This study is merely a collection of 18 anecdotes. Conscientious Omnivore said these were randomized clinical trial studies. They weren't. This study is merely a collection of 18 anecdotes, one of which would be worthy of publication, none of which would be worthy of publication in any current legitimate medical journal. I believe he called them peer-reviewed too, but I'm not sure about that. 3 of the 18 patients have died, one from pulmonary fibrosis, one presumably from a GI bleed, and one from depression. Could these deaths be related to the diet in some way? We can't know because there is no comparison group. So much for randomized clinical trials. The post garnered little attention initially, but in the last few months, several hundred visitors per day, apparently Reddit and Esselstyn's followers, have started leaving me testimonials to the diet along with nasty comments. What a surprise. Is he just gonna... Here we go. As a matter of fact, Dr. E has been hard at work over the last 30 years and has added a grand total of 176 patients who are considered adherent to the diet, about 6 per year. The original research was published in the Journal of Family Practice in 2014. Unfortunately, the bad science present in the original publication has only been amplified. In addition to any randomization or suitable control group for comparison, the data collection techniques are unacceptable. In 2011 and 2012, we contacted all participants by telephone to gather data. If a participant had died, we obtained a follow-up medical and dietary information from the spouse, sibling, offspring, or responsible representative. Right? These are surveys. Like second, third person surveys. In other words, there was no actual systematic review of medical records, autopsies, or death certificates. Just word of mouth from whomever answered the phone. Patients who avoided all meat, fish, dairy, and knowingly any added oils throughout the program were considered adherent. Imagine, if you will, that your husband died 10 years ago and you receive a call from Dr. E's office, or perhaps Dr. E himself, and he asks you if your husband avoided all meat, fish, dairy, and added oils. For one thing, it would be very difficult for you to answer that question with any degree of accuracy. Was your husband cheating on Dr. E's diet when you weren't looking? Do you remember his entire diet from 10 years ago? For another thing, you know that the caller has an agenda. If your husband died of a heart problem, the caller is not going to be happy until she gets you to admit that your husband had some guacamole on Cinco de Mayo in 2002. If he's alive and doing well, the caller is likely to be satisfied with the simple answer that yes, he's following the diet. Anyway, so once again, Conscientious Omnivore completely misrepresents studies. None of this is credible science. One of them didn't even have anything to do with veganism. You can't trust these vegans, man.